San Diego-based broker-dealer Girard Securities had been using Laserfiche for 7 years when a visit to last year's Empower 2013 conference caused light bulbs to turn on. In the face of increasing compliance demands, as well as growth opportunities, the firm upgraded to Laserfiche Rio and is now using Laserfiche Workflow and Laserfiche Forms to automate, simplify, and secure processes between its field and home offices. Says Chief Operating Officer John Berrigan, with all the automation of our latest Laserfiche implementation, we hope to be able to grow our company at a significant rate and recruit large new branch offices without having to add staff. Please welcome John Berrigan, Chief Operating Officer, Girard Securities.
How are you?
John, nice to see you again,
Nice
sir.
to see you.
Tell me how that is for you. You and I are about the same height. Good?
Feels good.
Okay,
Can I
good.
get one of these for the office?
This is actually from my personal collection.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
It's the Andrew Brown collection. More info on that later.
Yeah.
How am I doing so far?
You're doing pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Good.
Great questions.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. So as the video said, you guys have been a customer for 7 years.
Yeah.
But in 2013, you made the decision to move from the United platform to the Rio platform. Kind of a multi-part question. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're using it prior to the upgrade to Rio? Maybe what caused the eureka moment to shift, and a little bit about how you're using it now.
Sure. So the way that we were using Laserfiche prior was essentially like a Windows directory with files. I've been with the company for about 1.5 years. When I came into the company and I looked at how we were using it, I was a little bit surprised that we had a lot of technology, a lot of ability to automate. We had this really powerful system. You know, in our business, we have a lot of paper. To open up on an average account is 30 to 40 pages, give or take, with all the disclosures. So we essentially were using it just like a Windows file directory structure.
Yeah.
A lot of manual moving of documents. So dragging and dropping, cutting and pasting. Some funny stories in there that I can share, but essentially, documents were being lost. Somebody would drag a file and drop it, and it would just disappear. It would go into the wrong folder.
Yeah.
So I knew that we could do better than that. And then what happened actually was a year ago. This is my second Laserfiche conference, but I actually wasn't going to attend last year. Somebody in our office, Claire Maurer, who is our Laserfiche guru, was prodding me to come to the conference, and I didn't think I had the time. I was fairly new with the company. So I was like, well, I'll see if I can make it. And she kept pushing me to come. And then so finally when I committed to come, we were in different sessions, and I saw automation for the first time with one of the police departments that was giving an overview. And a light bulb went on, and she was in another session, and we were like texting each other, and we were like, the epiphany moment. So that's when we knew that we could do better. And we needed to upgrade and do some other things.
Sounds like we all owe Claire a lot of thanks.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Thanks, Claire.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit after the sort of eureka moment. Tell us about the move to Rio, implementing workflow, and how you're using the solution now.
Sure. So essentially what happened is that we have all of these advisors. Let me set up a little background. We have advisors across the United States, and then we have a home office where we have all of the users. Pretty much most of the office uses Laserfiche. And then we require all of our users, so getting people to use it isn't necessarily that easy, but they don't really have a choice. So we essentially said that we could do a better job. We knew we could automate the new account opening process, the submission of new business, money movement, and all the other things that happen. Each department, when we open up a new account or we have business that's processed, has to be touched by multiple departments. Yeah. And it has to happen in a specific order in a lot of cases, especially with opening a new account, asset movement, and then money movement. So all of those things need to happen in a specific order. So we got a lot of buy-in from the team in the office. But we had a meeting, all hands-on meeting, to kind of whiteboard out ourselves what the workflow process should be.
The famous whiteboard meeting.
The famous whiteboard meeting. But prior to that, I actually tried to do it myself, which I failed at miserably. I think I got 4 steps in, and I realized that it was vastly more intense than I had anticipated. So Claire and I started to have some conversations about what we needed to do, and we realized we needed to bring in Laserfiche. We don't have a huge IT department, and so we got Laserfiche to come in, do a consulting session with us, a couple of days, literally got all of the team players from the home office involved, and covered an entire wall, a whiteboard wall with workflow processes and all the things we wanted to do. That was really the turning point for us when we knew that we could automate our entire operation essentially across the United States for all of our advisors, the back office, and all the different steps.
Great. So looking towards the future, and I know sometimes it's a bit of a moving target. I was just talking to you this morning that in terms of future plans, things are always changing as we learn more and new features are identified and things like that. But any preview as to what it's going to do in terms of expansion or future use of the software?
Sure. Actually, very similar to how Babson's using it for their admissions process. So when we onboard new advisors, right now we have kind of still a little bit of a manual process, but I envision us being able to incorporate that into our website so that new advisors, when they go to apply to join our firm, can do the entire process online, and then have that go to our registration department through workflow, and then from there go to our compliance department, and then ultimately to the final approvers. So that's one project, and then of course we use CRM systems, a variety of them in the field. We would love to have utilize some of the APIs and things that you have to automate pushing some of those documents into those systems as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any advice for someone who is about to start a Laserfiche project, or as you know, your situation where maybe you'd been using it for a few years and felt like you could do some more with it?
Sure. Well, much like the other speakers had mentioned, obviously getting the directory structure is important, but I think for some other folks that might be at stages prior to that, I would just say that trying to do it yourself, if you have all the resources, I think that that's great. But if you're just not sure, for us, the turning point, after frankly struggling with workflow automation for a number of years, is to bring in the professionals, the consultants, to help you diagram out workflow, really lay it all out, and get all of the team members from the respective departments to buy in. That was very critical for us to get all the players from the various departments involved and make sure that we got it right the first time. And that's really been critical for us.
Great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, John, and I'll let you get back.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Thanks, John.